It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trateris, John Malika, and Ricey on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trateris here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my cousin, pal, the man, the plan, the one and only John Malika. Before we get into this episode, make sure to hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you're listening on any audio listening platform. Now let's get into it. John, my guy, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Life is good, man. The weather's still beautiful somehow. Sitting here November 8th in New York City. The Jets are 6-3 going into the bye week. Shout out to Claudio for mentioning that on the Knicks episodes. We're going to mention that on our Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. Jets are 6-3. What else can go? Nothing could hold me down. And the fact that the Knicks are staying even Steven, and we'll get into all that, makes me happy. The Rangers are working on their comeback. They got their retro logos. We got Knicks Kith Night coming up on Friday. We're going to the Brooklyn Nets next game coming up here. Honestly, man, I'd never have felt this good in my life in November, especially not coming off of like a World Series win or something, in 09. I've never felt this good in November. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Jets are 6-3.
6-3, bro.
We just beat the best in the AFC, so we good. If you haven't checked it out, and you're a Jets fan, listen to this next episode. Make sure to go check out the rapid reaction where we beat the almost Canada Orchard Park Buffalo Bills.
Yes,
it's all good. We all good here in Jets land. 6-3, baby. And I'm calling it right now. We're going to New England. We're beating the shit out of New England in New England.
You don't gotta tell me twice, my man. You don't gotta tell me twice. Bill Belichick called C.J. Mosley one of the best linebackers in the league. Sign me up, man. Sign me up.
You saw that video floating around where he saw Boyer lifting up the card saying we're gonna do this, and then
the onside kick.
Yeah.
And then he called a timeout, and then he miraculously knew exactly what our trick onside kick was gonna be. I know, but I'm telling you, man, I couldn't be happier in November, man. And
neither can I.
Of course, has a lot to do with the Jets, but listen, dude, I'm telling you straight up right now, it has a lot to do with just shutting everybody up about the Knicks, man. We are 500, and everyone that had anything to say about the Knicks has just been dead wrong already. And the Knicks haven't done anything spectacular. You know what I'm saying? We've done nothing impressive. I'm not really happy with the Knicks in general. As a fan, as someone who talks about the Knicks, every day at the games, I'm not happy with them. But to be honest with you, even being average, they are shutting everybody up, man. So I'm hyped, dude. What's your take? I mean, you're on the Knicks fan TV, post game every day, sometimes on the pre games. I mean, you're all over. You're in tune with all the fans constantly all day. Like, what's your take so far with the Knicks, and what's the beat of the fan base? They're calling you, they're yelling at you every day. Like, how they feeling?
Hey, man, look, I actually just did a game preview today with Matt Brooks. We previewed actually tomorrow's matchup against the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, tonight if you're listening.
Tonight if you listen to this against the Brooklyn Nets. It was a good conversation, so make sure to go check that out. You can go find me over there on post game. You can go check out the articles over there too. Weekly, the whole spiel over at Knicks Fan TV. Got the whole spiel going on. How are fans feeling, man? I mean, it depends who you talk to. If you talk to Jose from Puerto Rico, you think this team is going to be in hell for the next 30 years. So I don't want to hear about that.
We talk to Jay Boogie, salute. The Knicks are on the way.
3 capital S's, bro. Salute, 3 capital S's. Shout out to Jay Boogie, awesome dude. Knicks, he keeps it real. You have fans that keep it real, fans that are like pessimistic, optimistic, all over the place. We all got our corners of hives that we're trying to promote over here. Make sure everyone gets the fair representation. Whatever, whether it's Obi hives, Randall hives, Cam hives. It's all over the place right now. And you know what? The fan base is all over the place because his team is kind of all over the place. Even though they're 5-5, the way they've gotten to 5-5, there's nights that we watch where it's like, are you going to show up tonight? There's nights where they show up and they just get outscored because the other team is just, they were just like out of body experience shooting threes like the Boston Celtics. You're playing a team that doesn't have James Harden and Joel Embiid. You're like, are we really doing this? Are we really just mucking it up in Philadelphia for no reason? Like, there's just so many things going on. Tom Thibodeau changing rotation. It's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on with the Knicks. It's kind of why 5-5 is just, honestly, 5-5 right now. It's fine. It's fine for how they got to 5-5. I would say it's a little unorthodox to begin the season, but they're at 5-5. It's the team that we said they are who we thought they were. This is what we're seeing right now. They're not a contender. They're not the worst. It's right there in the middle, man. They're going to be competing. That's it.
All right. Well, I mean, if you look at the actual numbers and how even we are, it's almost predictable, right? Video producer Greg gave us a stat before we started, say the Knicks are undefeated against teams below 500, winless against teams above 500, which is not great. The Knicks are 4-4 against the East, 1-1 against the West. In October, they're 3-3. In November, they're 2-2. They've scored 1,150 points. They've let up 1,150 points. I mean, it's predictable. I agree with you. But I'm gonna push back a little bit in that they are who we thought they were, because they're doing, although they're average, right? Although they're even, but although they're exactly 500, it's just a completely different style of basketball. Like you mentioned it real quick with the Tibbs rotations. I mean, completely different rotations, completely different basketball for Julius Randle. I don't care what anyone says. Even the biggest Evan Fournier hater could not have seen this, poor play coming from Evan Fournier to start. I think Jalen Brunson's okay. RJ, no problem. Nothing spectacular there. But Cam Reddish, like he's stepping up, like just weird figures every single game. Like Hardenstein, I was talking to you before, you're the worst player in the entire game or the best player in the entire game. I mean, they're just doing it so unconventionally. And to be honest with you, it makes it fun to watch. It's not just when we lose really bad. I feel like it is just Randall ISOs, but that's because we ask for it, right? But every game for the last 2 years, it feels like
I'm not asking for it. Who's asking for that?
Well, no, the players. The players, when there's 4 seconds left on the shot clock and you just throw it to Julius Randle and you leave him alone, what do you expect to happen? You know what I mean? He's gonna.
No, that's fair. That's fair enough.
So that's why we've been saying we just need him to get a point guard, and he's responded. I mean, a couple of games this year already, he's played that ISO stuff. He gets excited. Even literally last game, I know he dropped 30 and it was exciting, but there were some plays I was like, Julius, like you're annoying me. You know what I mean? Like I'm the Julius
apologist
for the last 2 years. It feels like, and I'm telling, last game I was starting to get annoyed. I was like, dude, we're gonna blow this lead again. And if the Knicks blew a huge lead again, we would have been here talking about disaster.
We would have been here probably talking about Tibbs firing.
Wow, really? So you think he's on the hot seat like that?
I think after how if you have back-to-back games like how it was against Atlanta, yes. But I think if you're talking about it would have been worse if it was like Atlanta, then you lose to like the Sixers and the way that they were and you just couldn't beat them. I feel like that
would have been a bad loss, man, especially with no Harden and Embiid. That would have been a really bad loss.
You can't lose. Like the Knicks with who they have on paper is better than what the Sixers had Friday night.
Was that the first Grimes game?
That was the first Grimes game of the regular season.
So I mean, like we have to be hyped about that too. There's like motivation, on the rotation side, right? The minutes get more stringent. Everyone is trying to, get with the quote unquote starting lineup. That was supposed to be the beginning of the year. It was unexcusable if we were to lose that game.
Yeah, but I think if the Knicks lost to the Timberwolves after having another lead, like they had against Atlanta, and then you go into a night where you're playing Brooklyn and you lose against Brooklyn, and then you continue going down this stretch of just losing games.
Well, being up and then losing. It's not even just losing. It's being up by double digits and then blowing leads, right? That's where I could totally agree with you. That falls on the head coach.
But that's the thing. So that's the thing. Like if you lost to like Minnesota, right, after having a double-digit lead, you're gonna lose to Brooklyn with just a Kevin. Like we're talking about Kevin Durant and a bunch of role players.
Not just double digit, bro. We're talking about 20 plus. Like not like 10, 11. We're talking about like
that's what let's be more specific. We had 23-point lead against Atlanta. If we lost another 20+ point lead against Minnesota, right? When they didn't even show up to play. They didn't show up to play at all until like the third quarter, like, we'll try so it doesn't look too bad. You know what I mean?
Minnesota stinks, bro.
But if you
I've been preaching it, Minnesota stinks, but go ahead.
But if you lose to Brooklyn, that's what I said, man. They got fleeced for the Rudy Gobert trade. That's why I keep saying they got fleeced, bro. They got fleeced. You lose to Brooklyn with just a Kevin Durant and role players, and then you get Detroit. If you lose to Detroit, and then you have OKC and Utah, that stretch of games right there, like these are
Utah best team in the league.
We're talking about winnable games over here, man. We're talking about winnable games. If you're Tom Thibodeau, a guy who's known to be over prepared, have his guys ready to go, and then you lose these stretch of games, especially starting off the week, say you blew a lead to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it was 20-point. You're talking a hot seat right there. There's no way. There's just no way, man. It was already in the paper last year, right? We had the whole World Wide West, everybody else coming out like, we don't know about this guy. Hey, let's say, front offices get 2 chances for 2 coaches.
I agree, but that didn't happen. We avoided disaster.
It did not happen.
So what's your take? What's your take on Tibbs, man? So you just mentioned,
Look,
already last year, they're talking about how he could be fired. We're talking about if you blow that second game, he could always be fired that day. But he's been doing well. That's the reality of the situation, and he's giving us the fans what we want, right? Obviously he was out of desperation versus the Wolves with Mitch Robinson out. We'll talk about that. Huge shock there, right?
Philadelphia, that was also out of desperation. Some of those moves, man. Like
yeah,
we have to keep,
but he's doing it. But he's doing it. I mean, listen,
and some of the stuff is sticking.
The New York Knicks have been desperate for way longer than this season, man. And he's been stringent with it, and we've kind of just been like, in Tibbs we trust, and because you kind of have to. You could yell and scream about it and cry about it and count, Quickly's minutes and whatever, Cam Reddish's minutes, but it's just in Tibbs we trust. This year, he's having the same issues, in my opinion. It's the same issues. It's the center position. We're getting out rebounded. Right, we're getting we can't hit a free throw. We're hot and cold from the 3-point line. It's the same issues, but he's changing it up. He's giving us Randle and Obi. He's giving us Cam Reddish. He's benching Evan Fournier, and honestly, Grimes is doing nobody any favors. He's not doing himself any favors. He's not doing Tibbs any favors.
Who's not doing any favors? You said Grimes?
Yeah,
yeah, man. I mean, I can't.
Tibbs has a tough hand. Like even from day one till now, he's been every single like maybe it's like a 3 or 5 stud poker where you keep switching out cards. He's getting a bad card every time, man. Like it's just every single night. It's just bad news. But we're working through.
Yeah, and there's a lot to unpack with like what Tibb has to deal with the rotations. Like I've been giving I've been preaching it, man. Like last week was a tough week for rotations. Atlanta game was tough. Philly, it was ugly, but you can't look at it saying, hey, he didn't figure something out, saying, look, we tried the Obi Randle thing and that's sticking. You could say unfortunately, thanks to Mitchell Robinson injury, but now we're seeing Obi Randle pairing, and it's paying dividends. It's been positive. You win against the Philadelphia 76ers with that lineup, and you have the winning against the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can throw out the Boston Celtics because the Celtics just scored 27. He made 27 threes, shot over 50% from 3, which was insane. Like I don't care what team you are. If someone's dropping that on you, you're not winning.
Especially when you watch the Knicks shoot threes, dude, and you're like, how are these two teams playing the same game?
Yeah, and the Knicks were actually hitting threes that night too, which was even
that night. Yeah, it's just so. I don't know, man. Maybe call me old school in this one specific thing, but living and dying by the 3-pointer, specifically with this team that doesn't have the best 3-point shooters, It's driving me nuts.
We're gonna get into some topics about this. We're gonna get into some topics. We're gonna get some to another segment we're doing in a bit about that. But for Tibbs, man, like I've been liking the rotations for what I see as of late. When he started, I like the staggering. You like how RJ's playing with the second unit, even Randle's playing with the second unit. How he's working Hartenstein into the starting unit when Mitch was healthy to get some more offense from the center. Quickly would be the first guard off the bench to play with next to Jalen Brunson. You're seeing some Brunson, Derrick Rose minutes we're seeing extended minutes of these staggered rotations. I'm happy about it because you're getting guys acclimated with playing next to each other on the court, right? They have to. At some point, if you get into the plan, you're going to have to throw out the entire kitchen sink sometimes if something's not going your way. And just getting ready for it, man. Some things will work. And we're seeing that right now with the Obi Randle, and it's getting more minutes, man. There's a stat floating around out there right now. And I just take it, not that it's that Obi Toppin, when he plays 20 plus minutes a game, the Knicks are 3-0 when he plays 20 plus minutes. I'm not saying that's like,
causation correlation.
Huh?
Is correlation causation here, I guess.
My thought process is that he's been the most efficient. If we're talking about efficient, he's been the most efficient with his minutes, scoring wise, shooting wise. Yep. He's been the most efficient Knicks, the most consistent and efficient Nick, and effective is Jalen Brunson by far.
I mean, he's the best player on the team. I mean, without question. And I'm just gonna take 1 second here to say thank God we signed Jalen Brunson, because we would be sitting in the exact spot that we feared, where we didn't sign Van Fleet because it was quote unquote too much money. And then literally 10 games in, we're like, wow, we're the dumbest people in the world. We should have signed Van Fleet.
Or like we didn't trade for Kyle Lowry. It would be like, well, Van Vliet didn't sit down with us, but it's like even the thought of like not even extending and trying to, persuade him to come over here was.
But that was the question with us. Yeah. Like, do we want to pay him, $22 million?
Yes, amongst the fan base, yeah.
Yeah, and now
it's even like the Chris Paul situation, right? It's like, oh, should we pay Chris Paul? It's like, yes.
And then 10 games in, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm jealous of the leadership of a point guard. Look what he does, and thank God we got Jalen Brunson. I don't care that his dad's on the team. I don't care that his agent is Leon. I don't care. Thank God Jalen Brunson's on this team. Like, he makes everyone better. Look at Julius Randle, dude. Look at him. Look at his face. Dude, Julius Randle waiting. This is completely innocuous. Julius Randle waiting after a timeout in the fourth quarter yesterday just for Jalen Brunson to come to the bench. Like, he wouldn't go to the bench until Jalen Brunson came. Dude. Like, what a 180, and that just means one thing: Jalen Brunson is the man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's the command of the locker room.
He's the coolest guy in the room, which is hilarious because you wouldn't think it just looking at him. He's like a quiet, humble guy, backup point guard. He's too short. Villanova, dad's on the team. His agent is the GM's son. Like, there's so much negative to say about him. He's the coolest guy in the room. If Julius Randle all of a sudden is like waiting for him to come back, and he's a baller. He's the nastiest basketball player. And in my opinion, from looking at from afar, he's the coolest guy in the room. Oh, I'm hyped with Jalen Brunson, man.
I don't disagree with any of those points that you made. And the other thing I would say about Brunson too is that he has the command of the locker room because no one in the locker room has done what he's done. No one in the locker room has dropped 30 and 40 points during a playoff game against Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. No one in that locker room has made it past top Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference. No one in that locker room has gone to a conference final. He has done all of that. So when he walks into the room and you see how cool, calm, collected he is, he's a guy that's leadership by showing, by putting in the work, working hard. Players respect that. And
we would have lost to Charlotte 100% without him. And
we would have lost
100%.
We would have lost 100%. A lot of games.
I'm saying those two guaranteed. Like, we probably would have been sitting here with the Detroit win, Orlando win, and that's it. Maybe like the Minnesota
questionable Orlando win. Honestly, a questionable Orlando win.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So like, I'm just I know it's off topic, but like this is by itself. Jalen Brunson. Thank God for Jalen Brunson. That's it. Like,
but the one thing I want to just finish up about the Obi thing, right, is that I'm just saying that we see the kid is efficient, having him out there, he does things on the court outside of the high flying acrobatic dunks that a lot of Knicks just don't do. Like he's like last season, he was in the 70th percentile when it comes to cutting, just off ball. Like that. We don't. You watch anybody else in that starting rotation, everyone's just like hand on their hips or just like waiting around the perimeter, like, yo, get me the ball. And Obi's like, yo, I'm just gonna run, man. And stuff like that is just so simple, and yet it's so effective. And the fact that he's getting out in transition last night was awesome. 26. He had 26 minutes. He had 8. What do you have? Like 7, 8 boards. You know, he's shooting very well from 3 now, which has been big for the Knicks. The fact that he's our best 3-point shooter just be in the combination of percentage and volume alone is just
it's great.
I didn't think I would be here saying that, but we're here saying that.
It's great.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention one thing though about Obi and the bench, dude. That's the fact that they're so good. That's why the Atlanta loss was so disappointing, man. That's why I was so disappointed, honestly, because our bench is so good, because Obi's so good, because the Atlanta bench sucks, because we had that game. Like, forget the 20-point lead, because our bench is just so good and their bench stinks. And Obi, like, this should be the game that he absolutely murders. That's why that game hurt.
For sure. And look, even last night, right? 4 for 10 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, got you 15 points, hit all four of his free throws. 7 boards, 3 assists, 4 steals. Like you have that kid on the court. I'm sorry. He's not even a kid. You have that man on the court. There's impact. And the fact that he can do it with Julius Randle now on the court, that's different, bro. That's different. A lineup that can get out in space and outrun other teams. That is something we've been asking for. Just make the game easier. Make the game easier for everybody. It makes it easier for Randle, makes it easier for RJ, Cam, Jalen, everybody. In our mid 3, last 2 games, scoring over 20 points plus each. So
I hate that nickname, but I'll use it. I'll use it as motivation to make fun of people. To call
it's
it
a joke to me. It's just a joke. Like, come on, man. Like
it's silly.
It's any slander you can give the Knicks, people are gonna go out there. I saw stuff flying on Twitter like, oh, RJ's doing like he's averaging 20 points, all this, and it's like, oh, is it efficient though? And someone's like underneath in the comments like it is actually efficient, but it probably won't last long. I'm like, yo, why are we all hating for no reason?
That is tough. Listen, I'm gonna hit on one thing with the Knicks. They can't hit free throws, and it's driving me absolutely insane. But dude, you're so right about Obi Toppin and his spacing. Every single day, he's looking closer and closer to Sean Marion, who I just read an article about recently, talking about how he was insane because of the way he filled every box in the stat sheet. And that's inadvertently what you just said about Obi Toppin. He plays the same exact position, and the more and more I think about it, obviously we don't have Steve Nash, right, of the old Suns, and we play defense and we don't run 6-second offenses, right? It is different. But listen, the Knicks win when we grab rebounds and we run in transition. And we space. I mean, we kind of do look like that old school Suns team, you know, in some weird fashion, right? We have a couple of misfits, right? With like Amari Stoudemire, Randle, you know, and Joe Johnson and Sean Marion. Like, I feel like we like, you know, and RJ Barrett. I feel like there's some.
Are you
sort
saying
of
we need Mike
comparison.
D'Antonia as an assistant coach to get some offense on here?
No. I love our offense, to be honest with you. I love it because Jalen Brunson is running it. You know, and then we have IQ off the bench, man. IQ and D Rose, like everything we said there is coming true. But I'm very, very, very concerned about starting. I'm not starting, just long minutes with Randle and Obi. Unless we just keep up this transition and get the boards and just move out because we suck at rebounds. But if we're able to move the ball like that, I'm down because we can outrun other teams. That's what I mean by like the Suns kind of fast paced.
It's just spurts that you're looking for.
But listen, man, like you mentioned playoffs. I know it's way too early, but like a series where people have actual big men, they're kind of scarce around the league. Day by day, they're getting more scarce around the league. So I'm with you there. But if we're versing real big men, we have no chance. Like no chance.
If you're talking, the only big men that are terrifying in this league are Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. Like who else? Who else is out there? Like Bam is not even a true big. He's 6'9". You know what I mean? Like he's more athletic than a true big.
I know, but can we guard him? You know what I'm saying? Like if Randle and
I think
Obi are in,
Randle
he's
gives
gonna
him a
get- he's
good. I
gonna
think
get
Randle gives him a
75
good matchup.
boards.
I think Randle gives him a good matchup.
I'm really getting. I don't know if this is like uh rollover from me like coaching, amateur basketball, in the, in the off season. But dude, when you shoot a three, expect a long rebound because it's a turnover. You know what I mean? Long threes are when you miss, they become long rebounds, and all of a sudden it's transition, and so it's basically a turnover. If you take a bad three, it's a turnover. Like that's how I view it, and
Oh yeah,
I feel like that keeps happening for the Knicks. And even if we get to the
but that's the
line,
thing.
we're
Because
missing free throws, bro,
because
and we
this-
can't get rebounds. Like these things are driving me insane, and that's what you talk about when it's just not fundamental basketball. Like we're average, it's fine, but it's just that's what I hate to see.
But
I hate not fundamental basketball, man.
I hear you. I like efficient and effective basketball, and I think it's a lineup that you can use in spurts. The thing that this Knicks team does way too often is that they're ready to pull the trigger on a three when no one's underneath the basket to make a rebound to begin with, and that's honestly the biggest thing.
Every game,
You can just watch 4 of the opposing team members. I feel like this is just common throughout most of the NBA nowadays. You just find it's like you're just trading 3-pointers. It's like, all right, you shoot, we shoot, you shoot, we shoot. It's just kind of how the league is at this
but that's
point.
not our game, bro.
I agree.
We're not
We are
D'Antoni.
not
We're
a
Tibbs.
3-point shooting team.
We're Tibbs.
So let's get into this then.
We can't be exchanging threes, bro. It's just not our game.
So let's get into this then. Let's get into this segment. Buy or sell. They ain't original, but it's fun. It's a fun segment, man. It's a fun segment. Buy or sell. Well, I'm going to start with yesterday, man. The man that we've been questioning, who was shooting 24% up until last night.
Unreal.
From 3. And now, it's so crazy that he has one game where he goes nuclear. And by nuclear, I'm talking about he took 15 shots from the field. 13 of them were threes, and he made 8 of them. And there was only one inside the paint. That is one Mr. Julius Randle. One Mr. Julius Randle. And because of that crazy 3-point shooting, it went from 24% to 33.3% in one game, in one night.
You know what's even more interesting
Season
about that?
average.
You know what's even more interesting about that? The Knicks are leading the league in points in the paint coming into that game.
It's an anomaly, man. So even though there was no Rudy Gobert, if the Knicks shot like that, it didn't even matter. So the first question for you, are you buying or selling Julius Randle has found his touch from behind the perimeter?
This is easy, bro. I am buying Julius Randle 100%. Okay.
So it's a 3-point shot. We're talking 3-point, not player.
Yes. You know
3-point
why?
shot.
If Julius Randle was just past the ball at the 3-point line, like Obi, you know what I'm saying? That's how Obi's getting his shot. That's how RJ's getting his shots. That's how I would say almost everyone is getting their threes except for Fournier, where he has to do the double dribble, the double dribble to the right, spin move, step back, fade away. Like everybody else is getting a nice pass from Brunson and getting the shot. Julius Randle had that crazy 3 at the end of the last game. I was not happy until that ball went through the net. I was like, this is a terrible shot. No, yes. Like I'll fully admit it. So I'm going to buy Julius Randle's 3-pointer because I don't think he has to do that. Jalen Brunson's going to find him for threes. If he has pop-up threes, spot up, he's going to hit them at high clips. And on his crazy threes, he can go 30% or even 20%. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Where he'll hit like he'll hit like 1 out of every 5 of those, but he still has the spot up. So I'm buying it. I think he's going to be above average, and he's just getting warm, man. He's in shape. He's happy. Obi Toppin's getting minutes, so nobody's upset, including Obi, right? Because that was a big problem for him. Obi Toppin chance to the newly extended superstar player that we were, put on Slam magazine. I mean, it's a tough roller coaster for that guy. I'm buying it. What about you?
Let me ask you this before I go on, because I gotta put a barometer around here so that way we know what shot we're buying over here. What's the percentage that you're giving for Julius Randle on the season? Is it 33%? Is it 35%? 37%? You want to put it league average 35.7?
Is that league average? That's what the Mavericks are shooting, right? I mean, I think the team league average right now is 36%. Yeah, so whatever, 35.7, same nonsense.
Yeah.
The Knicks are shooting 34%.
Knicks are shooting 34. They're under it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
would you buy Julius Randle shooting league average this season? Let's put it that way.
yeah, he's average. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that because he's not going to be creating. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be putting up. He's only going to shoot either when we force him to at the end of the shot clock or when Brunson finds him.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go selling on this 3-point barrage. I think Julius Randle's more effective when he's 15 feet and closer to the basket.
Absolutely.
I just don't see this. Like he had for 2 games in a row, he shot really well from 3. And I believe players, the season is a game of runs. Rhythm is also a game of runs.
He's hot. He's hot
right now. I'm sure he's going to go on a good spree of shooting threes. I expect it to come back down. And I think it's going to be a little bit under 35%. I think it'll be right. I think if he stays at 33, that's probably closer to what he's done. Just like looking historically, he's gone from, 27, 22, 34, 27, 41 was like the bubble, was like the crazy bubble-ish year that we had. We're not seeing that again.
But do you
think he's going to be, huh?
But do you trust him?
Do I trust him?
Yeah, like do you trust him shooting threes, right? Because
yes, I can trust him.
1% over a full year. I mean,
I can trust him. I can trust him. How about this? Take a 3. Do I trust that it's always going to go in? I think it was game by game. I think it's going to be more of like an Evan Fournier even out where there's going to be nights where he's going to be clanking that thing off the back iron. He's going to take 5 shots. It's going to one's going to go in, the other 4 are going to clank. He's going to have nights like last night where he's just nuclear and he can hit all 3s in his sight. But I'm going to put I think this right now, if he's somewhere between 32 to 33%, I think that's what we're getting from Julius Randle as a 3-pointer. I'm not buying league average. Like how he's playing for the most part. Stretches a game where he was like, just be consistent, my guy. Just be consistent. Show up. Do your damn thing. You're good. You're good. All right. Are you buying or selling? We got to talk about, man. We talked about it a little bit. Are you buying or selling the Randle Obi pairing? Because right now, we saw a good chunk during Philadelphia, and they were closing. They closed the fourth quarter last night. Now, and they were in there together in the second quarter as well last game, but they closed. That was, and we talk about Cat on the court too. Yeah, Randle can body Cat.
Yeah, one-on-one is fun. Cat doesn't like to play center. Randle doesn't like to play center. That's a great fit. 76ers, no Embiid. That's a great fit. I'm buying Randle and Obi together in a small ball lineup, right? So, for example, just say in a dream world, somehow, or not the dream, regular season, like we're playing the Warriors. Say they're healthy, fully healthy. I'm not going to be super worried about their death lineup. You know what I mean? With Draymond, their small ball death lineup because we could match up with small ball, right? So I'm buying it there. But for example, like versus the 76ers, if Embiid was there, I am not buying Randle and Obi. If Gobert and Towns are there, I'm not gonna say I'm 50-50 because I want to see it, right? Because either we're gonna get crushed. Obviously, we're not gonna get a rebound, but it's either we're gonna get crushed because we score in the paint, or Obi Toppin's going to run circles, right? We're just going to run circles around them because Gobert can't guard the 3. And like you said, Obi, is the best 3-point shooter on the Knicks statistically, and we just talked about Randle for 3, right? So I guess we just have to see how they space it. But generally, I'm not buying Randle and Obi as the 5 and the 4 to win me a playoff series. It's just not happening. Like, that's not happening. I love it. I would like to see in the regular season. It's super fun. In spurts, it's fine, but it's not a winning formula. It's fine, though. I like it. It's going to win us games. It's going to win us spurts. If it can win us second quarters, if it can win us third quarters versus benches, like, sounds good. Everyone's happy about their minutes, and we kind of don't have a choice. But if Mitch Robinson, if we don't have if we have Hartenstein as the starting center and
He ain't the starting center, bro. It's Jericho. If Mitch is not healthy, it's Jericho Sims.
Okay, so if it's Sims behind and Hartenstein behind him, it doesn't make much of like for me. That's just not. We can't win. We can't win. We can't be a contender. So as much as I like it, as much as it's cool, as much as it reminds me of the Suns back in the day, and as much as listen, the next couple games, like don't say this age like milk because it's going to be great the next couple games, right? We don't have Mitch, and it's the Nets who don't have a center. It's the Pistons who are trying to run small ball with Isaiah Stewart popping threes. It's the Thunder who are just like to run in transition.
Everyone's skinny on that team, so
it's the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? So until we get to November 16th versus the Nuggets, like it's fine. Then we have the Warriors in the small ball, so it's fine. It's cool. We should run it. We should get minutes with it so we could have these lineups and be able to play with it. But I don't think it's contending basketball without a real center, in my opinion. I don't think we could be like the small ball Warriors, or the small ball Suns, like running this. But I like it for spurts. What about you?
I'm actually going to buy it for actual contention type stuff because I think when you get to the playoffs, you want to put your best players on the court. And if your best player is a guy that can cut, shoot threes, push the pace, and do all that stuff, you're just trying to figure out how you get guys out there. And you touched on it, man. How many prototypical centers do we have? It's kind of a dying breed out there. Besides, I guess another guy I'd be a little terrified too is Jarrett Allen, right? The Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley is a team I would not necessarily want to go small ball because those guys can actually run.
The Eastern Conference, bro. We're talking about you said Giannis, you said Jarrett Allen. Let's throw Williams in there for the Celtics because he's going to be healthy eventually.
I wouldn't mind playing against Williams with small ball. I wouldn't mind that.
Okay. Robert Williams, not Grant.
Yeah, I'm talking about Robert Williams.
Yeah, okay. So we'll take that out. We'll throw 76ers as 3.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing 76ers, Bucks,
Cleveland.
At Cleveland. Nah, we can't do that. But
we're not. We'll honorable mention the Celtics. That's the 4 in the East. That's the top 4 in the East.
But we're not. But at the same time, if I'm being realistic, we're not contending and doing that. You know what I mean? Like if we're looking for playoffs, bro.
I can't think like that. I know I should. I know it's realistic, but like
I get the fan in you always thinks there's a chance.
It's not even the fan, dude. It's like I'm watching the game. Like I'm watching all the other teams. We have League Pass.
But you just pointed out the stat, bro, where we just lost to teams that are above 500. Like, can we beat a 500 team first?
But everybody in the East stinks, dude. Everybody's like all these teams are under 5. We're not gonna find any, right? Like we're gonna keep playing these teams that are under 5 because that's what they are. The Magic are under 500. We're gonna keep playing them. The Pistons, the Nets. Like,
but we're talking about but we're talking about contention, right? Like I'm just saying, like I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm talking about title. Like if you're talking contention, I think contention.
No, I just want to contend in a playoff series, dude. I just want to contend in a playoff series. I want to win a playoff series.
So my definition of contention is we're fighting for a championship.
No.
Okay.
No, because then we'll never talk about Knicks basketball. No. Let's talk about winning.
If we're talking fighting for play. I think there's like I don't know. My level is like, are you fighting for a play-in? Are you fighting for playoffs? Yeah. Are you competing in the playoffs? Are you a contention team?
I like that. I like those tiers.
So we're for right now, we're fighting for play-in.
No, I disagree. No, we are in the play-in. If we don't get a play-in game,
no, that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. We're fighting. Yeah. Okay, you're right. We're a play-in team fighting play-in. That's all right. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, we're fighting. We're fighting to be the top 6 seed. That's where we're at. That's where
that is what we're fighting for.
Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
We're fighting to be a top 6 playoff team.
Yeah,
but this is to me right now play-in team. Like just because we got to beat a 500 team for me to say, all right, we could potentially get there if everyone gets in rhythm. This team hits their stride. I don't even want to talk about everyone being healthy because, look, man,
there's only 5. There's only 5 teams above 500 in the East, bro. We're not gonna find them. I'm just letting you know. Like we just got to keep winning games. You guys got to keep. Like you're gonna tell me that beating the Nets is not impressive, beating the Heat is not impressive, but if we beat the Bulls, everyone's gonna be excited because they're no. Like the standings are gonna change.
I mean, I'm not really enthused by the Bulls because they're just.
They stink exactly, and the Hawks are 7-3. That's the most fraudulent 7-3 NBA team I've ever seen in my whole life, and even more fraudulent than the Jazz, in my opinion.
I mean, to be honest, if the Sixers ever get healthy, that's a legitimate team that we got. I mean, that's a very big if. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that The East is a little disheveled right now because of how everything's just playing out with injuries and whatnot.
Okay, so on your scale,
but my thing is,
on your scale, Randle and Obi, right? So that's what we're buying and selling here. Can they get us to a top 6 seed? Let's start there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And can they win us a playoff series?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. See, I'm with you on the top 6 because of the regular season games. I cannot say that significantly. Maybe, but right now I'm not buying.
Let's see.
I have to think
right.
time. I'm not like selling it. I need time.
Who would be 3 right? Who's 3 right now in the East? Let's
Celtics.
Celtics. Yes. Give me that small ball lineup against the Celtics. I'm fine with that. I'm legitimately fine with that.
We might not get one rebound, Alex. And we don't hit threes, and we can't have free throws. Like
that's the bigger issue
for disaster.
But that's the thing. If we need to hit threes, you got to have the guy who can hit threes out on the court, don't you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's
fair.
all. That's all I'm saying. Like
okay, that's fair.
And if you give Obi some minutes, he got 7 boards last night. I'm just saying, I have faith in it. You're telling me we're targeting Bucks and stuff like that? Cavs? Hell no. Bucks? Hell no.
Yeah. Or Bucks. We don't stand a chance versus the Bucks and the Cavs in a playoff series. But that's neither here nor there. Give me a top 6 seed.
All right. We got to bring this topic back up. I'm throwing this one in here. I didn't really have it written down, but I'm throwing it in here because we gotta make this a little more interesting. Are you buying or selling that the Knicks that we have a Quentin Grimes issue and that we may not see this man for the rest of the season?
Dude, we mentioned.
All right, let me rephrase it.
I'm
buying or selling that we're not going to see Quentin Grimes for the rest of the season. Buying that he
no. Sell. But listen, I'll sell that. But I mentioned before, let's talk about Grimes here. He is doing himself absolutely no favors with this foot injury. We even
is it him or is it him or is it like the team like trying to force him back too early?
Well, here's the thing: we had our tinfoil hats on for the opposite reason. We said that the Knicks are actually holding him back and saying, "Don't come back, rest." So we can figure out what's going on with Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish.
Oh, I got another tinfoil hat for you. But
now that he's playing and he's still injured and Fournier stinks and Cam Reddish is the most erratic player. I don't care what anyone says. He's the most erratic NBA basketball player I've ever seen in my life. He's either the best player on the court or the worst player on the court. And it fluctuates in the middle of possessions. It's crazy. So,
offensively, yes, for sure.
In the middle of possessions, dude, it's really nuts. He gives me real J.R. Smith vibes. Like it's either amazing. I
really dislike that I honestly really dislike that we're putting our boy J.R. Smith and Cam Reddish in the same vein.
It's just the opposite. Like J.R. Smith is super offense and like erratic on D, and Cam Reddish is super D and erratic on offense. But they have the same personality, the same like kind of on and off for me. It's odd. But
same personality.
They're odd. They're really odd. But for me, it really comes down to Fournier stinks. So that tinfoil hat thing is not there because we need Grimes more than anything in the world. So that you're going to have to throw that theory out. So then it comes to what's going on. Like, is it plantar? Is it a real issue? Because it was last year, it was his knee. He played the preseason, he was fine, and all of a sudden it's been a foot ever since. They've been vague about it, and all we know was foot.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So we don't know.
But
he stinks when he plays. So if he's healthy,
not healthy. He's not healthy, dude.
Okay, so that's where you're going with this.
He is not healthy. There's no way. I think that he came on the court. Here's my tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau. Look, man. I'm about to lose my job if we lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. We need a rotation change. Is this guy healthy? Is this guy healthy? We're going to make him healthy because I need it for tonight. And I think there was a push for him. I think there's a push for the team. I think there's a push just to get Grimes back out there to give Thibodeau the horses that he needs to be successful.
No way. Listen, Alex, I know you're in tune with the fan base. I know everyone wants to fire Tibbs. There is no way that they're making personnel decisions like that 7 games in because Tibbs thinks he's going to get fired. There's no way. He's boys with everyone. He's boys with the whole team. They're not firing him right now, man. He's going to make it at the very least until the deadline.
But hold on.
Come on. Just because he's not going anywhere. Don't tell me they're throwing out Grimes there, even though he's unhealthy, because they're trying to save Tibbs' job. Like, come on. That's too. Even for Mr. Tinfoil Hat guy, I love the conspiracy theories when it comes to like sports teams. That's for me, that's a bit much.
Hold on, my man. And
I just think he's
here we
hurt,
go.
and he's just not that guy right now.
But why else would you put him at? Why else for a guy who is?
Because
You're
Evan
telling
Fournier.
me. You're telling me.
Evan
Look,
Fournier,
it's one
bro.
thing. It's one thing. It's one thing to say, hey, he's coming back. He's going to come in off the bench, and he's going to be all good. We're going to work him back into. Talking about straight into the starting rotation, bro. Straight into the starting rotation. That's
that's
guy
good.
Who's never. Well,
That means
that's all. That's
that means
also
Tibbs means what he says, bro. Tibbs means what he says. You know what I'm saying? If you deserve to be a shooting guard, you're the starting shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? If you say you're healthy to play this game, you're gonna play starting shooting guard. If you're not healthy, you don't play. I don't think he wants to mess with the mojo where it's like Evan Fournier, you start, we'll bring Grimes off the bench today. Next game, we'll start Grimes, we'll bring on Fournier. Maybe, I don't think he wants to mess with it like that.
I think even a team that's bringing somebody back off an injury, you start bringing them off the bench first, getting them some like spot minutes first. Honestly, to throw him right out into the wolves and just say you have not practiced at all with this starting rotation, like maybe minimally during training camp, and now we're going to need you for critical minutes, critical gameplay to win this game. That's tough, bro. That's tough going to, because there was all eyes on this game, on the Philadelphia 76ers game, man. All eyes were on it. You just blew a 23-point lead to the Atlanta Hawks. You should have walked home, but like, all right, we got the Sixers. You could have, the whole script could have been trap game. Didn't see it coming because they didn't have Embiid. They didn't have Harden. You're a big gambling guy. You're like, oh, whoa. You don't have your top two stars. Everybody rises to the occasion. They get that dub. You're all about that, aren't you?
Especially the spread.
You're all about it. So you're telling me that type of mindset is not going into the back of the head now. Now you lost. Now the narrative is like, okay, we just saw this 23-point loss. That was last year's stench over it. Last year, strict rotations. We're talking about Julius Randle doing Julius Randle things of like last year. He was looking off Brunson that game. Like we're talking to him being the primary playmaker. And now you're going into a game where you don't have Harden, you don't have Embiid, and you need to win this game. There's no way. Like you can't, like definitely he wanted Grimes back in there because he knows. You watch that Hawks game, Fournier is a turnstile. Man's a traffic cone out there.
So bad.
Traffic cone when it comes to
he's not hitting threes, so what's the point?
So that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
So with you, right? It's like, think about it. And not you, I'm not saying you like specifically,
no,
but like do you want Cam Reddish, who we talk about as being erratic, or do you want Quentin Grimes? Because he could have gone Quentin. Right now, we're seeing Cam Reddish playing solid on defense, Fournier off the bench. He could have gone that direction, but he went Quentin Grimes. This is my tinfoil hat, man. I'm not saying I'm right. All right, I just pulled out this massive tinfoil hat for this one, but that's what I'm thinking, man. I'm not saying I'm right, and for the folks out there that are listening, it's just a conspiracy theory. That's my tinfoil hat. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not reporting anything. That's my thought process. You can call me crazy. You can tweet at me. Whatever. Shout out to Gamba for saying and giving me the Arthur Fist today. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that. But I am buying that we may not see Quentin Grimes this season. I'm just saying, man, this whole thing is just,
he's questionable next game.
It's too vague.
He's questionable this game. Literally questionable versus the Nets.
Bro, too vague for me, man. It is like questionable, doubtful. I have no idea what's
I know. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I think they're trying to work him back in. I'm not gonna buy your tinfoil hat. I'm not gonna buy the other conspiracy either way. I just think he's literally a young shooting guard that the Knicks are desperate for a shooting guard that can play defense. It's not Cam Reddish. It's not Evan Fournier. It's not Emmanuel Quickly, no matter how much you scream at me, not you, but in general. It's just not those guys. They're not starting shooting guards, and we need a starting shooting guard.
Do you think Quentin Grimes is the Keenan Allen right now of this team? Man, you want to talk about questionable?
Yeah. Dude, I want to say who Quentin Grimes. I said it before, and I'll say it again.
Don't you dare!
I'm gonna knock on wood. I'm gonna knock on wood. He's Allen Houston.
Oh, good lord!
He's the Allen Houston of this team. He is. He could pop threes. He could play defense. He's a prototypical shooting guard, and he's hurt. He's Allen Houston. He's the nicest guy. He even went to Houston College. This guy, I'm telling you, I don't know. Like, I think the Knicks know how desperate they are at shooting guard, and I know they know how desperate they are at center, and that's why they're making these moves. That's my opinion. I hope to God he's healthy, man. I don't think we're gonna miss him for the season. I would honestly be so upset. And to be honest with you, we would absolutely need a shooting guard, but before the trade deadline if Grimes is out for the year, like absolute need. So I'm not going there yet. I think Grimes is gonna be fine. I think Fournier is gonna fall out of the rotation, which he already has. Cam Reddish is gonna get duty behind RJ. And I'm excited to see what Sims got to bring to the table, man. I know we're kind of off that end a little bit, but I'm excited about Jericho Sims. Sim City, my man, the free safety, jumping 15 feet for rebounds.
It's nice to have another Jayco in New York City, even though his last name's not Cotry. Jericho, Jayco. I'm calling him Jayco. But anyway, let's keep this thing moving. Got two more for you. Are you buying or selling Cam Reddish staying in the starting rotation for the rest of the season?
What do you mean by like start? Like when they call his name in the
what he is doing now?
Five? Listen,
starting what he's doing right now.
If we're desperate, there's a nice flow from the. If we're desperate, yeah, sure, start him with RJ. But everybody's out of position now, and you need a shooting guard because you can't start Fournier, and you can't start quickly, and you can't start Rose.
So you don't like RJ at the shooting guard position?
You can. I don't love it. You can do it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? If I'm Tibbs, I would do that. I would have Brunson, RJ, Cam Reddish, Randle. I'll throw Sims in there, no problem, and then switch him out real quick for Hartenstein and switch him out real quick for Obi, and then take out Randle, slide Obi down, put Sims back in. That's a fine rotation for me. I don't mind it. But if we had a real shooting guard, Cam Reddish, just give me 15 minutes off the bench behind RJ and call it a day. Please be efficient. Please don't do anything insane. Get a couple steals, get 2 assists off transition, and 6 points. We'll chant your name every single day at the Garden if you do that.
Okay, I'm gonna go opposite again, just because I don't think we're seeing. I don't know what's happening with Grimes. So if I'm saying I'm buying that we're not gonna see Grimes for this season, I gotta buy that we're seeing Cam Reddish in the starting rotation then, because there's no way we can have him 48 back out there unless there's some catastrophic disaster. But Cam Reddish, his defense has been solid these past couple of games, man. His defense is there. He's actually getting better with his rotations, especially when you watch against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, it comes down to the offense. Can he make the right shot selection? Can he hit his shots with the limited touches that he's getting? He got 9 yesterday, which I think is actually a good amount of volume for him being in that starting rotation, considering we have Brunson, RJ, and Randle who need to get a lot of touches. And I think the good thing is that they allow Cam to kind of play a little bit with the second unit when you talk about the staggering rotation. So I think that's how he also can get some of his volume there as well. But I'm buying it, man. I like it. I think it gives the Knicks more length, in that starting rotation, which is cool. I like Grimes too. You know me, I'm a big Grimes fan as well. I'd be happy with Grimes in the starting rotation too, as your typical 2 guard. I think he's our best perimeter defender.
Easily.
Yeah. And
RJ's number 2 though.
I don't know, man. You could, because Cam's been playing pretty well.
Fine.
I put Cam at number 2. RJ probably number 3. RJ
Fine.
definitely number 3. I think just because when I look at the intangibles that Cam has, length, height, he disrupts passing lanes very well. It's, can he string together and stay focused? Because if he can, man, he could be dominant. But I'm buying it. Now, the last topic we got. Are you buying that the Knicks are a top 10 scoring team? Right now, they are number 10 in the league. They're number 10 right now, averaging 115 points per game. Best one is New Orleans Pelicans with 118. Are you buying it?
We're better than the Kings. We're better than the Timberwolves. That's the 11 and the 12.
Yep.
But behind that's Dallas. That's a little scary. Phoenix is at 15. That doesn't make much sense. But again, ahead of us is the Pacers. That stinks. Like, I honestly, man, top 10's hard. We're definitely top half. Okay, so I'm 100% buying top 15. Top 10, I'm going to take a bold take. I'll say we'll literally be number 10. But I think we'll definitely be the top half of the league, which is huge, man, because, again, if we could play real defense, that we can keep up the offensive efficiency because of Obi Toppin, like you mentioned, or Randle having a great year, like you mentioned, Jalen Brunson, obviously the catalyst. We haven't even mentioned IQ this entire episode. Derrick Rose actually playing real basketball. It's a legit team. I'm down.
So you're saying
I'm 100% buying top 15, and I'm going to say bold take Knicks number 10 at the end of the season.
so you're buying it. You're
Number
buying
10,
that there'll be a top
on the
10.
dot. You're like
Wow.
Vegas. Give me over under 10, and it's gonna push, bro. It's 10.
Woo! Wow. Knicks will be
Why
a
not?
top 10
Who's
team.
better than them? Who's better than them on the offense that you can see here from 11 to even 11 down? Like Milwaukee's there, that's scary. Brooklyn, okay. Phoenix, but again, above us are the
Philly?
Pacers.
Philly's
Yeah.
also down there.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Who scores on Philly?
I'm
Who
talking about
scores?
Harden,
Uh,
Embiid.
They don't play. Forget score. Like Harden's not going to be back till
I'm
January.
guessing that I'm thinking that at some point they're gonna come back. I guess
Yeah.
that the big if
Are they going to be
come back,
healthy
right?
though?
Yeah.
Are they going to play back to backs? Are they going to be healthy? Are they going to travel? Are they going to be in shape?
Right now, I can buy. So here's the top 10s for the listeners out there. We got Pelicans at number 1 with 118, Jazz at 118, Celtics at 117, Warriors at 117, Pacers at 117, Hawks at 116, Cavs at 116, Nuggets at 116, Memphis at 116, Knicks at 115. The only team at 115. Look at that.
On flat too. 115
Flat.
I like that.
Um,
Just got to work on the defense, man.
I'm looking at Phoenix going to take a jump up there somewhere, man. I feel like Phoenix is like, I look at Phoenix, I look at Milwaukee.
That really makes no sense. I guess are they really just defensively efficient because they're playing like the best team in basketball right now.
I think also Mikal Bridges is out if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. So that also impacts their scoring because he's a good 3-point shooter for them.
Sure.
And I look at the Phoenix Suns that would be a team to hop back up there.
What do you got? You got top 10?
No, I'm selling. They're not top 10. I
Top
agree with you on the
15?
top 15. Yes, top
Okay.
15. Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
I can get with that. Top 10.
It's a hot take. Top 10's a hot take. That's why I took the
Top
number
10
10.
is top. If you're telling me a Tibbs team with a team
Facts.
that struggles to shoot from 3 is going to be a top 10, we better be scoring a lot of points in the paint.
Facts. And honestly, you're totally right because there's only one team getting knocked out, and that's the Pacers. Other than that, you slide Phoenix in. We're still at 10. So we just like we can't fold. You know what I mean?
It's going to be tough, man. Honestly, and you're
I
talking
can
about Dallas.
see it though. Listen, the Mavericks are injured, even though they're nasty. The Bucks offensively isn't their thing besides Giannis. I can see it. Raptors also play defense. Magic, I think, are one of the worst teams in the league, minus Bobo. I don't know. I can see it. It's interesting.
And
It's
Toronto
interesting play.
too, man. Like we got to put like Toronto's got some offense there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the things are just a little kooky right now in the NBA. It's still early in the season, 10, 11 games in. I'll buy them halfway, top 10. It's tough for me, man. It's tough for me, especially for a team that doesn't shoot the 3 consistently. But hey, that concludes the buy or sell segment of this podcast. But now, you know what else is next, John? We got a schedule. We got a schedule, bro. We
I'm
got
hyped.
we got an interesting slate of games coming up, man, until next week before we record another Knicks episode. So right now for the New York Knicks, they play the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow on
At home.
Wednesday at home.
At home
or
in
tonight
Barclays Center.
in our vacation home in Brooklyn. we are playing the Brooklyn Nets. We also get the Detroit Pistons once again this Friday. We get OKC on Sunday, and we also have Utah on Tuesday. We are home against Detroit and OKC, away for Brooklyn and Utah. It's 4 games, man. What are you expecting? You're 1-3, 0-4, 1-3, 2-2, 3-1, 4-0. What you got?
Listen, man. First of all, I want to point out Nets, Pistons, and Thunder all under 500. Doesn't mean anything. But the Knicks are 3-0 against under 500 teams. You want to kill them for that? Here we are. Kill them for it. I want to keep being undefeated against teams under 500.
Who we're supposed to be? Yes, let's do it.
No problem. Brooklyn Nets game gonna be tough. I love Josiah. I think he's legitimately the man. Knicks better win in Brooklyn. They better win in Brooklyn. This is the worst shape the Nets should be in. However, they got the assistant coach bump. They've been playing out of their minds since this whole controversy with Kyrie and the coach Steve Nash firing. They've been playing out of their minds. So I'm going to take it as a win. Don't feel great about it, but it's Brooklyn Nets. I need to win. Friday, Detroit. You know how I feel about Detroit. They got a bunch of small guys, a bunch of young guys that I love, but we play them well. We play them a lot, it feels like, but we play them well. And it's Kith night. Last Kith night at the Garden was the first game ever for Zion Williamson in the Garden. That was a Sunday. That was an awesome game. We debuted our circle jerseys, and we won. I'm just gonna give us another Kith night W.
Okay.
At home versus the Pistons. Sunday, 12 o'clock.
Your favorite opposite Sunday.
OKC is gonna beat us.
Oh man.
OKC is gonna be awake. They're gonna be ready. 12 o'clock. The Knicks are gonna be sleeping until at least the third quarter here.
Oh, it's a matinee game too. Good Lord.
Sunday at noon, bro. No, it's not gonna work out. Never works out. We're gonna come out sleeping. The Garden's gonna be sleeping because no one's trying to get to the city at 11 o'clock for a Knicks game. This is a Thunder win, but we're gonna bounce back. We're gonna beat the number 1 team in the NBA, the Utah Jazz, on the Tuesday. Especially because of the back-to-back. It's right before back-to-back in the Nuggets. So I know I gave you one extra one with the Nuggets. I won't mention that. Let's see how the first 4 go. I don't think we're going to be the Nuggets, but listen, man. I'm watching every Nuggets game this year so far. They are
Jazz game? You mean Jazz or Nuggets?
I've been watching every Nuggets game. They're so unimpressive, but I'm scared of them, and I wonder if the Knicks are scared of them as well. So because that's the second game of a back-to-back, I think they're going to beat the Jazz. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think we're going to go 3-1, beat Brooklyn home/away, beat Detroit on Kith night, lose to OKC in a matinee, disgusting game. I'm going to be annoyed about it. I'm going to take the under. Probably going to take the OKC spread. It's going to be like 8 points. And then take the Jazz. We're gonna beat the Jazz. The Jazz are nonsense. I don't care about their stupid neon jerseys. I don't care about Jordan Clarkson. We're going to beat the Jazz.
All right. I'm going 3-1 as well. Although I'm swapping the Utah with OKC. I think we do get up for this game. I think we have a tough time playing out in Utah, man. We have a very tough time playing.
We have a tough time on the road, my man. Forget Utah.
Yo, have you watched? I've actually tuned into some Utah games just because I'm curious.
They're awesome.
They are good.
I know, dude. I'm not joking.
They are good. You know what's funny? I got clowned for saying that the Lakers should take Conley over Pat Bev.
Dude, the Utah Jazz, I'm telling you, I'm being facetious. They're the best team in the league right now. It's not even close. They really feel like the Suns of last year, where it just wasn't close, and the Suns were like so far and beyond the best team in the league. That's how it feels when I watch the Jazz. Like, if you don't know anything about them, you're just watching the basketball game. It's so obvious that the Jazz is the best team.
Dude, Jazz are like
It's crazy. And I think they're gonna hold it for a while.
You know who gets the most disrespect, who I've actually liked, who I wanted the Knicks to draft too? Colin Sexton. I like Colin Sexton.
Sexton's good. I agree.
He's a bucket. He gets a lot of disrespect.
I don't know if he'd fit necessarily as like the Knicks shooting guard, because we're looking for a more defensive guy. But I agree with you.
Good defender, bro. He's just honestly, for a guard that is undersized for the two, who can be a combo guard, he's awesome, dude. I wanted the Knicks to draft him so badly. I was like, that's the guy. When he just bent over and just like stared at the guy, look at him in his face in college while I was at Bam, I was like, I like that energy. I like that energy a lot. He's got that dog in him, man. He's got that dog in him.
Many dogs all over New York sports. I love it.
Yeah, man. But I got the
dog
Knicks going
season.
through. Dog season. Dog season, baby. I like the Knicks going 3-1. So we both do. You just got them being the Jazz losing to OKC. I got them beating OKC and losing to
Doesn't matter how they do it, bro. Give me 3-1. I like it. I'll take that any day. I don't care how they do it. It doesn't matter to me.
3-1, and it starts.
I would like to beat Brooklyn, but it's okay. Even if we lose to Brooklyn, we win the next.
No, absolutely not. No. I cannot accept losing to Brooklyn when it's just Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, who's not even playing well.
He stinks. And
Joe Harris isn't shooting the three well. Seth Curry, isn't shooting the three well. Like this is our chance, man. It's our chance. The last 2 seasons have been dogfights playing against the Brooklyn Nets. This is our chance to actually to get one, and both teams are coming correct for this one. Kevin Durant was playing against New York, and Julius Randle wants to prove something. He would have
come to the Knicks. But my hot take on the Nets is Kyrie is gonna get cut and go to the Lakers.
Good Lord! Wow, really?
Yeah.
Is Westbrook staying on that team?
No. Westbrook is the problem is the Pacers need to start losing in order to finally do that trade. But if honestly you want to talk about the Lakers, okay, I guess are we on the etc. section right now? Can I ask you this without you yelling at me? What happens if the Lakers just start calling the Knicks every day to give us Anthony Davis?
No. I'm not taking Anthony Davis, bro. No, just no. We'll not do it. We'll not.
Okay.
Why? You would take Anthony Davis?
Listen, man. Mitch Robinson is don't tell me you love Mitch Robinson. Don't tell me you love Mitch Robinson. You hate Anthony Davis. You can't say it.
Don't tell me he's playing center. If you tell me he's playing power forward,
no, he's gonna play center.
No, that's not happening. No, he doesn't even play center out in LA.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, he'd have to play center. It would be him and Randle, him and Hobie, and and that sort of rotation. Listen, man, the Lakers need first-round picks. They don't have any. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Talk about three-point shooter. They're disgusting to watch. They need first-round picks.
I love it.
They're not trying to trade first-round picks. They need to accumulate them. The Knicks have a lot of them. The Knicks need a center that plays basketball. I could see that being the tough part here with
the
AD.
fact that we're talking about the Magic, the Lakers, and the Rockets all fighting to stink. What stinks is that LA traded their first rounder to New Orleans. New Orleans has this.
They need picks, bro. They need picks.
The Lakers are just first of all, the Lakers are just helping out New Orleans, which is actually just killing me inside. If they get Wembayama to go with Zion and Brandon Ingram.
I love the Pelicans. They deserve it, bro. They're listen. R.I.P. to David Stern, but he did everything for that Pelicans team. He tried. I mean, poor team, bro. But I feel bad for the Pelicans. Let them live, dude. Give them Wembayama.
Have you been to King Smoothie Center?
I've never been.
I've actually been.
Sick?
No, it's not sick at all. It's right next to the Saints Arena.
It's a Caesar Superdome now.
It was Mercedes Superdome when I was there. But I got to watch Giannis Antetokounmpo rookie season play Anthony Davis second season. Courtside seats, my man. I was baseline $80.
No way.
$80.
You know what's funny? I was planning on going in March of 2020 to go see Knicks Pelicans, and that was literally the game right before it got canceled. Like everything. But I wasn't hardcore playing, but like that was like I was eyeing that game the whole time.
I was down there
for Knicks in New York. I've never been to New Orleans, so I wanted to go see the Knicks. That's how I plan USA City vacations. Like if all right, I'll go see the city. All right, when do the Knicks play? or the Jets play?
I also like just going to like good games too if I see them and like if I'm in a city. So I was down there for Mardi Gras when I got to catch that game. $80. I was like, this is no way that I'm sitting courtside for 80.
That's crazy.
It's cool. And the arena was empty. Like no one really showed up. And so what they did was they packed everybody like down below. Like, oh no. You paid $10. No. Come on down. We got nobody here in March. But the games I wish I did see, I was out in Denver one weekend with my wife for one of her work events. And it was the Trailblazers when it was Dame and CJ against the Nuggets. And it was a double overtime game. Tickets were pretty nice. I didn't get to go. I was like, yo, you want to go to this game? I was like, this is a good matchup. I was like, tickets aren't that bad. We can be in the 100 sections for $100 each. She was like, nah, I don't want to. I just want to chill, go to a nice. I was like, all right. Check the phone next day. I was like, how did this matchup go? I was like, double overtime. You kidding? It was like a game-winning shot. I was like,
free basketball or free hockey is the best.
Yeah.
Free football hurts. That hurts your soul.
That's a long time.
But speaking of, I'm actually going to USC UCLA, which will be the Pac-12 semifinals in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that game.
That'll be a good one.
That should be sick.
That'll be a good one. Well, I think that wraps up another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. Thank you all for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. You all know what to do. If you listen to this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We see you guys helping us on Apple. We appreciate it. If you listen on Spotify, please make sure to do the same. We really do appreciate all the stuff. It's free to do. It helps us out. If you want to see us make more content because you enjoy this content, please make sure to do so. We're also partnered with Fanside and Minute Media, so you can find this podcast on the Daily Knicks or the Jet Press. We also got that YouTube channel, Knicks, Jets, etc. No one writes out, etc. That shit's wild. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, hit the like button, add a comment, add to the conversation. We want to know your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about the Knicks? What do you think about the segment? Buy or sell? Huh? What are you buying and selling, guys? We want to know. What are you buying and selling about this team that we just talked about? We want to hear your thoughts. Give us your takes. Let us know how you feel about the center position, Quentin Grimes injury, Obi and Randle. Is this what you all dreamed of? Let us know. And while you're also over that YouTube channel, we got another podcast, partner with Minute Media, Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our guy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every single pick possible. No matter what sport it is, they got you covered. Right now, it's college football, NFL. John's killing it. He's on fire right now. He is like Julius Randle. Better yet, he is like the Boston Celtics when they faced the New York Knicks on Saturday from 3. On fire.
Greg's hitting crazy parlays. We have Tsunami Jones parlays that the NFL took away from us for bye weeks. I mean, we're on fire, man.
So make sure to go check them out. You need to win some money. These guys got you covered. But make sure to do so responsibly. And last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Knicks.